Hi guys, me again. So tonight I'm going to have you looking at some ancient Greek culture stuff, which is then going to lead into some conflicts, and that's what we'll be doing in class tomorrow, looking at some conflicts that occurred with the ancient Greeks. So just quickly on the culture, not going to spend a ton of time on this, but Greek culture was really heavily influenced by this guy over here. He's the poet Homer. Homer wrote well, he didn't write because he was a blind poet. Back then, poets would have told stories. Somebody eventually wrote those down and credited Homer with those. So we're not even sure if Homer is really Homer or not. But these are credited to Homer. He wrote two epic poems, which epic is basically just means really, really long. Doesn't necessarily mean awesome, but these are still around today. And some of you might read, I think last year the honors kids read some of that in English class, the Iliad or the Odyssey, I forget which one, but those are two stories that Homer told. They call them poems, but they're tremendously long. But what's important from our standpoint is what they were used for in ancient Greece, and that was basically to teach the children all the characteristics that they thought a true Greek person should have. Basically, as it says there, what it meant to be a Greek. And all of these stories kind of rammed these things home to the kids. So if you were to be a true ancient Greek child, especially a male, you were going to be heroic. You were going to strive, always strive for excellence. No matter what happened, you were going to just accept it and move on and not cry about it. You weren't going to be the kid who tosses the Monopoly board and smacks all the pieces off so that you can't lose. You can take defeat with dignity, if it were to be. A lot of emphasis on the fate. These guys believed in the gods, which we'll see in the bottom here. We'll talk about them momentarily. Loyalty, another big belief of theirs. Kind of the first of the green communities. They loved nature, and they tied all this in to their gods. And these are their gods. This was Mount Olympus. Zeus is the head god of Mount Olympus. Is a mountain that they believed that all the Greek gods resided on. These Greek gods are basically a blending of the two cultures that started in ancient Greece, the Minoans and the Mycenaeans. Each city-state would have had their own particular god or goddess. Athens had Athena, which should make sense, and so on and so forth. That's the bell ending period 6, starting period 7. All right, I'm going to try to keep going. Nope. All right, I've had to pause about 12 times because of announcements. But I already told you about Mount Olympus, and you may or may not know that the foundations of the Olympic Games, which just recently were in the news, as they were awarded to Tokyo for the year 2020. The Summer Games were held when they first started in ancient Greece. It was a religious festival, basically in Zeus's honor. So some ties to today. Now, economically, Greece was very, very active. They relied on trade, as you can see on the Mediterranean Sea here, and it connects to the Black Sea. Greece being right down here. They were in a pretty good location to spread themselves out and basically control the trade in and around the Mediterranean Sea area. And so what they did is they set up a bunch of colonies, meaning that because Greece, like I said before, was not a collection, was not a country, excuse me, it was a collection of individual city-states that kind of just all agreed that they were one thing. The city-states set up their own colonies. It wasn't the country that set up the colonies, it was the individual city-states, which is going to be important as we move forward. And basically they relied upon those city-states to give them the resources that they needed, and in a lot of cases it was just for food because they wanted to use their land to grow other things, mostly things that they could sell. Those are things we call cash crops. The two biggest cash crops back in ancient Greece's time were olives to produce olive oil and wine. So that brought home a lot of money, and then you used your colonies to feed your people for the most part. But the colonies are going to start a little bit of a problem. And you've got here a closer view of the map here. This is all kind of ancient Greece. Macedonia is a separate country, but under or allied, excuse me, to Sparta and all their allies here in the reddish color. The greenish color is Athens and all of their allies, and you can see they were really spread pretty wide throughout this Mediterranean Sea area and up and towards the Black Sea here, and encroaching upon the Persian Empire. And as I ask you the question up here, if Persia were going to fight somebody, who are they going to fight? I think hopefully the obvious answer is the Athenians, because the Athenians are encroaching on their land. This green is not ocean. It looks like the Persian Empire ends here and the ocean starts there. It doesn't. The Persian Empire got pushed back because all of these areas were allied to Athens. So the Persian Empire was not too happy about that. And in fact, that's what's going to kick off a war with Persia, a series of battles over an extended period of time. And tomorrow in class, you're going to do a little reading and look at those wars. So that's where we will pick up tomorrow. Adios.